Hey, let's just do more Danganronpa for a little bit. We'll start this chapter. The ultimate despair. For people who caused the tragedy over 1 year ago. Same people who put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. Most desperately awful groups of people ever. Stars Ed Biscotti. Mastermind's identity, our enemy, has finally been revealed. But right now we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you right. You still have that one thing. Mind come a secret tool you got from the headmaster's room?
Indeed.
Of course I do. Absolutely vital part of the ensnaring the mastermind, I would never part with it. Open the door. You can open any door in the school, right?
That's right.
That's right. Be able to use that door, right? Are either of you tall enough?
It's true.
Let's find out. You go take out the key with the mannequin design on it and slid it into the keyhole. And then click. Yas, queen, it opened.
Indeed.
Now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good to me, hombre. Lily opened the door and made her escape from the garbage pit. Finally. We were finally free. There wasn't even time for to take a breath of relief. The real fight had just begun. Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. Leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. A metal ladder leading up to the tunnel. While climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. The ladder was impossibly long, couldn't even see where it ended. Climbed into darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped, I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea we were so far down.
Hey.
Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. He's lucky. He's lucky. Now that you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help keep my mind off it. So Kyoko, something I wanted to ask of you. You're the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work? How long? Sorry, Biscotti throat? Ever since I can remember. Came from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. But your dad was like, frick that, I'm gonna be a school teacher. A time where being a detective was considered sacred duty. Family's always seen it that way. I don't know what year this game takes place in. Is your family famous?
Wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So,
Right.
take pride in it.
Indeed.
Pride. Detective is neither light nor shadow. Represent neither justice nor evil, and that is how we can uncover the absolute truth. Stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society. This is why we make a conscious effort to conceal our existence. Conscious effort.
It's true.
Kind of old-fashioned, I can't say it's entirely rational. Our family creed, we do what we must to protect it. Because like you said, it's our source of pride. Pride. So that explains it. Before I came here, we were looking into the info about the school online. Never saw anything about her. Hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However,
And yeah, I gave up some of that pride. Huh? In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. Didn't knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. The reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
What?
Reconnect. Absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Huh? You're reuniting after all those years, right? You would have had so much to talk about.
Wrong.
Nothing I want to talk about to my father. Nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However,
Something I want to say to him, though. What?
I...
No matter what it takes, I'll have to find him and tell him face to face. What is it?
So...
Sever all ties with him. Sever? Last time I saw him, still very young. Much easier way of doing that, so I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. In line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family, he was talented, he had a promising future.
However...
He had no interest in detective work, though. To cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. Went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument, and as young as I was, he left me behind. Sure, there was a reason for that. Sure, your dad wanted to take you with him.
Right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name. Every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. I couldn't tell. Couldn't see how she looked when she said that, what she might have been feeling. All I could tell that she was, that when she compared to her usual self, she was more talkative and more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He has his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true.
However,
but there's one thing I could never forgive. Really?
So...
The way everyone else looked at me. Never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing.
However...
When the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. Only saw me as a little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me even out of this day. Shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. Need a man in my life and just step out of his shadow.
Correct.
That's why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family. Or to settle the past. Or to remove him from my life forever. No doubt he forgot about me years ago. But by your family, you can't just cut him out like that.
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood and nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No.
Hey.
Is blood really enough to call someone family? Only connected by blood, not by heart or soul. I was shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. I'm climbing the ladder in a complete silence, and after I didn't know how long, finally reached the top. Killer kicks, man. Are those Yeezys? Look, this is it.
Indeed.
Notice how that door host peak is waiting for us. We're back.
That's right.
Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? Fairly certain this is where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much trouble. There was nothing. Reached my right hand up and pushed against the hatch. The hatch opened up with ease, and so... Looks like we're back. Can't believe how long the ladder was. I'm exhausted. Can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. I'm back in the Hope Academy. I could thank you and never would have gotten out of there without you. If it's necessary, I was just returning the favor. I don't think I've ever seen anyone throw anything away down here. Now what do we do? I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out, worried about you too, you helped me, so they might...
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course.
So then...
Let's get a concrete answer, huh?
In other words...
Monokuma has a problem with you escaping. Wait, that's...
However...
How to hide is only a matter of time until we're found out, it's not like we can run away. Said that she pointed to the nearby surveillance camera. Thinking rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now. Don't worry, what do you think is going to happen isn't.
Because...
Mastermind's one that's ensnared. Mastermind's ensnared. I knew that before, what does it mean?
So...
Mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into Mikuru's death. A moment where the Mastermind let their guard down. There was.
Right.
Talk to Monokuma and confirm it. Better for us if we go to him directly before he tracks us down. Should help with our negotiations. Still a little, super uneasy about this. Don't really have a choice now, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the gym.
Shall we go?
Let's get going. You couldn't just like ward me. Skirt. Hey. Kyoko, I didn't mind so much. But Makoto's supposed to be dead. What's he doing here? Exactly how I thought he'd react. You really gonna be okay? You were supposed to be punished? Did Kyoko help you?
What?
So what if I did? What will you do? Guilty parties are exposed during their class trial and then they alone will be executed. Unfortunately, but that is the rule. Now I'm gonna punish you again, this time I won't leave anything to chance. Kyoko.
Right.
Do whatever you feel you have to. What?
However...
But before you do, let me just say one thing.
No.
You escape Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right? Huh? I lose?
Hey!
You explain yourself, what do you mean by that? Well, you
Because,
set up the Glazes class trial yourself, right? Getting in your way so you wanted no excuse to kill me.
in other words,
Supposed to be the chosen as the Blackened and then executed, right? What are you talking about?
however,
When Makoto chose to overlook my lie, your plan came crashing down. The results of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting. Because you never imagined that in that position one person would protect another like that.
right,
In response to that unexpected development, you
indeed,
reacted by proclaiming Makoto the Blackened and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation, now more than that. Was to realize that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well.
however,
But then there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery. Alter ego. Never imagined the possibility of being that could come into our aid even after you killed it.
am I wrong?
Now here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Mercurio, you did.
Listen to
For executing Makoto, or it would surely be a violation of your rules, which I know you love so much. The Blackened exposed, that alone would be executed. That's what you told us, right? And that means I lose. It's a big game. You're saying the Blackened is me and I'm Makoto?
Well?
Can you prove this? You can prove this, right?
wow,
No, I can't. Don't just say it like that. What is this, a comedy routine to make such a bold claims without a shred of evidence?
that doesn't
I don't
matter.
have any right now, but with a little more time, I guarantee I'll find some.
That's right.
Doesn't matter how deeply you try to bury it, there's only ever one absolute truth. Now you're trying to talk to like some kind of famous detective type.
Because,
If Makoto really was the killer, he never would have come to you willingly like this. Would have faced feared for his life, feared another execution, he would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you so love to inspire.
however,
But here we are confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts.
What the heck?
It's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence.
indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince.
Hey,
If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased. Huh?
indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume that you killed him because what we said was actually right.
Listen to me.
Despair can never kill hope. Erg.
Hey,
Of course you're gonna say we're just making this all up. You're welcome to prove this all wrong. Now you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. You want to earn our despair fair and square.
that's what we have
I
to
suggest
do.
you take my advice. What is this advice of yours?
It's true.
To do Makoto's trial over again. Only this time you follow the regulations to ensure a fair trial.
It's time for
It's time for
one
one
last
last showdown, one final battle to
One
hope and
final
despair.
battle between
You can say it.
hope and despair. Hey,
I'll make it for a proper climax, what do you say? You see, like, you just told me last chapter during the trial that we were at the halfway point. Your trial would be our chance to expose the true identity of Makoto's killer or the mastermind themselves. What reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'd probably just execute me without another word. Interesting.
Barrett!
Barely interesting indeed. Barely.
What's wrong?
Oh, I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little. The time for bear jokes. Now that you suggested it might be plausible, you must really make for one honey of a climax.
in other words,
I mean, you accept?
You
You do
guys!
things your way, that'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And cause your unbearable despair, right? I'm free bear to read your terms. You hope win out, or will my despair claim victory?
I can barely
At one final
contain
grand
myself!
showdown. You agreed. There's no double shot at this.
Barrett!
But this is a long way to climax, right? Just guessing the killer is barely a fitting end.
You guys!
On all face self, you'll have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here. All the mysteries. Try every last mystery that is following around the school. If you can do that,
I can
then it'll
barely
be
contain
enough to
myself!
qualify as a victory for you.
it's true.
But we're trying. Dude, they were writing this paragraph and like, yeah, what if we had some bears jokes to it? Okay, we're good. Let's bear it all. If you can claw your way to the truth of Makoto's death and solve the mysteries of the school,
You guys!
then you win. But if you can't do all that, we'll all face execution, right? Barely contain my excitement. You learned the whole truth. What kind of despair will you show me? As excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
When we've uncovered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair? Also, I can't believe how this all turned out.
Hey,
Before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember that rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held.
What's wrong?
Remember that for sure. For sure, so what?
hey,
I want to confirm that is what you said, right? That is a true statement. You don't have to be so suspicious, I've said it before and it bears repeating. Everything is based on school regulations. Having a trial for Macaria was no exception to that. No exception to that, huh? Makara's trial is no exception, that is part of the regulations. Which have to mean that whoever killed Makaro. Very polarizing approach, I know, but okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. Sure, I told you this already, but the killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. What?
listen.
You're telling the truth. Why'd you all quiet all of a sudden? Ooh.
Now
I'm talking and I got nothing left to say to you. So get lost, would you? Why so, man? Seems emotionally unstable.
Hey!
Leave me alone, get out of here. Yeah, I'm going, I just... You're really gonna let me go? I don't even care anymore. You're all gonna get your punishment later anyway. Start getting ready, a super duper extra special punishment overflowing with despair. Hoo.
Hey,
Well, Nakado, let's go. Okay. Hoo. Monokuma's unstable laughter seemed to cling to us as we walked away. And just like that, we were out of the gym. I hardly believe it, but somehow I ended up not getting executed. I love my life, and we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than expected. Once again, it's all I was in Kyoko's debt. Kyoko, thank you for everything I have right now because of you.
however,
Don't thank me just yet. Real battle is still ahead of us. Yeah, true. But still, I'm glad it worked out. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal. But honestly, why would the Mastermind agree to that? I mean, they don't stand to gain anything from a final showdown, do they?
so,
They had no choice but to accept. Huh?
because...
All because of that one moment that the Mastermind let down their guard, like I said. So when was it that the Mastermind let the guard down?
So...
I wasn't there to hear it myself, but do you remember what the Mastermind said? Said they hijacked the airwaves to broadcast her school life to the outside world, right? Yeah, they definitely said that.
Listen.
And what did you think when you heard that? Pretty hard to believe, right? Well, I mean, the idea of actually taking over the airwaves seems so unbelievable.
Indeed.
You don't exactly read about something like that happening very often, so it's hard to imagine. In other words, that kind of thing is extremely difficult to pull off,
However,
and yet somehow the Mastermind was able to do it.
in other words...
Think of it another way, there must have been some reason they had to do something that difficult. Or is it?
So...
We had to show the world something, no matter the cost, us killing each other. Wanted to show the world?
It would seem...
Mastermind has been very adamant about not killing us directly, but forcing us to kill each other. And all their rules and regulations were designed to encourage that. Yeah, that makes sense, but if those stupid regulations didn't exist, nobody would have killed anybody.
In other words...
Mastermind's ultimate goal was to make us kill each other and show that off to the world. But why?
Correct.
To prove a point, most likely. Prove a point?
Hey,
The outside world has a name for the students of Hope's Peak, right? A certain concept. Talking about hope, right?
that's right.
And for those of us who represent hope to kill each other and sink into despair, Mastermind wants the world to see that, to try and prove that despair is better than hope. That's their goal, and the ultimate despair. What? And it's to prove their despair, that despair is better than hope. But that's ridiculous.
It's true.
You're right, it is ridiculous, completely irrational. Kind of thing that nobody but those who call themselves the ultimate despair would devise. Group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. But is that really their only reason for making the rest of us suffer?
Makoto.
I know how angry it must make you, and yet, same motivation what led us to the Mastermind revealing the weakness. What?
In other words...
Because their goal is to broadcast the killing game to the world. Mastermind has had to be more particular than is reasonable about their own regulations. If Mastermind simply ignored the rule, this wouldn't have been a game, but a one-sided slaughter.
At the very least...
At least that's how those who are watching this would have seen it. And this is why the Mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves.
Indeed.
This is precisely the reason. No matter how much they may hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of their regulations. I could break the rules so she was punished, but in my case, they couldn't lay a finger on me.
Right.
So instead, they tried to use the class trial, following all the proper rules to get me killed. They began a trial that didn't have a right answer that made me out to be the killer. Even that didn't work.
It's true.
Yes, thanks to you. Due to that failure, the mastermind took yet another risk, and to kill you instead of who also was not the killer. Knowing that fact was exposed on live TV to the entire outside world, the mastermind had to accept your suggestion.
Indeed.
Prove that to the world that despair is better than hope, they have to defeat us in imperfect form.
In other words,
Only due to the mastermind harm to have us shown that they had violated their own regulations. But all of that was a hunch, right? And you were still able to get that mastermind to accept your challenge.
however,
Well, it was only thanks to you that we got that chance because you believed in me and another path opened up. Can't believe how much of the mastermind thoughts and plans you were able to figure out. I didn't have the slightest clue.
wrong.
In the end, though, I couldn't prove any of it. It was just my reasoning. Essentially, I was making a bet.
Whew.
Looks like I got that right. This time, at least, I won the bet. Then a quick sigh, I took it as a small sign of relief. To be honest, I haven't been that nervous in a long time. Totally couldn't tell you were nervous at all. Seemed totally confident when the moment we decided to go talk to him. Well, presenting a strong demeanor is a fundamental part of negotiation and persuasion, wouldn't you say? What if I showed my uneasiness, that would have just made you that much more uneasy. Probably right, how pathetic.
However,
Anyway, we can't relax just yet. All we've done is earn another chance to fight. We have to win this game. We have to win this
Correct.
time. Or everything we've gone through will have been for nothing. You're right. If we can't defeat the mastermind, it'll cost us our lives. No option except to win.
hey,
Before we begin the final battle, we have to film the others what's going on. True, but now we know who our real enemy is. All we have to do is now is work together with everyone to destroy the mastermind. Work together with everyone. Work together with everyone.
however,
Is that really possible? Huh?
anyway,
Anyway, right now we have to go find the others.
shall
the
we
others,
go?
probably in the dorm somewhere. Shall we go? Oh, right. I keep thinking that's the exit. I don't know why. I like to interact with the door to leave. Pit stop. Pit stop. One for the road. A donkey 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 donk. Donk 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 a donk. Donka donka donk. Yo bozos. Is he inside? Knock knock.
Hey,
Don't think he's here. Come on, we need to keep looking.
hey,
Is he in the room? Is he inside?
hey,
What about the doorbell? No.
hey,
We'll go to the diner, maybe? Something we were greeted with. You again. They reprogrammed the Monokuma. Is he broken?
whew,
Emotional instability reached its limit. What the heck?
however,
I wonder what that was all about. Couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief. Ah,
Is that Makoto?
You guys!
It is! There's no two ways about it. That's Makoto.
You survived?
Jeez, you're like a stubborn little cockroach, you know that?
I'm just asking to make sure, but you're not a ghost, right?
I'm muted! Started to tear up.
What?
What's that smell?
What the heck?
That seriously stinks. Makoto, it smells like a wet dog. Get away Shoo Shoo. And in the flash, my tears dried up.
Yo,
Makoto was with like hanging out in the spirit world. I didn't go to the spirit world.
you know?
Did you get to talk to her? Who? Miss Cleo. No, I didn't talk to her. I mean, I didn't go to the spirit world. Who the heck is Miss Cleo? Gram? I can't believe you survived. Yeah, me either. Did you realize that YA's you escaped execution? Alter ego. Saved my life.
That's right.
Too many people can say they had their life saved by a computer program? Not too many. I imagine it was a learning experience for you. I don't want to go in the kitchen right now. Sorry. So, what have you guys been doing while I was gone? Well, we figured that since the trial was over, we'd have access to new places again. And no dice, all the rooms that were locked before were still locked. There weren't any new areas. Then where can we go to find new clues? You stink? Are you Ron? Ron, physically, mentally, every way you can be Ron. Sorry, I was rolling around in garbage for a while. The smell is so smelly. Super smelly, but worse than me. Way worse than me. I win. I was happy for some reason.
Makoto.
Time to indulge in an extended happy reunion. You need to explain to everyone what happened with Monokuma.
Yes.
Explain what? Is it okay that you're here? What if the mastermind catches you?
It's true.
It's related to what I have to tell you all. I need to tell you all about the last class trial. Last class trial.
In other words.
I would never do Mercury's trial.
Huh?
What, seriously?
How about
What's the
that?
point of ever doing it? Makoto killed her, right? No, I didn't do it, like I kept telling you.
Wrong.
Makoto isn't the killer, and of course it's not me or any of you. Then who is it?
I see.
What she's saying is it was all the work of the mastermind. What, you're saying the mastermind killed Mekaro?
That's right.
That's right. It was all an elaborate trap contrived by the mastermind. Makoto spotted the trap in time and did what he had to do to stop it.
However.
But the decision meant that he would be the one to die.
What?
He spotted the
Did you
trap,
say?
did you, Makoto? Make it sound like it was easy, I just, you know.
However.
Executing Makoto, who wasn't the Blackened, is a clear violation of the school regulations. The rules state that only the Blackened is to be executed. The mastermind broke their own rules. Which is why I went and negotiated with them to have the trial one more time.
Huh?
The mastermind agreed. Does that mean they really did break the rules? They had no choice but to agree to use the TV broadcasting and the leverage you needed, didn't you?
Correct.
Very observant of you. I
Natural.
recall what you said at the end of the last trial. You said now it's the mastermind that's ensnared. That's what you were referring to.
Don't be
I
mean.
am totally in the dark here. For anyone who doesn't understand, you can ask Kyoko to explain it later. Again. Knowing all this, what can we do now?
About that.
Now who killed Makara, right? Our job is to expose the mastermind. Well, there's more to it than that, correct? Yeah. For us to win this time, we have to solve every last mystery surrounding the school. Every last mystery.
But
We've been looking around all this time, we still don't know anything, right?
Anyway.
You probably guessed already, but if we lose this time, everyone dies. everyone.
No!
Hey, who said you could agree to those terms without talking to the rest of us? I'm fine with things the way they are. I'm fine living here forever with Master. Meanwhile, want to get out of here as soon as possible. Anyway, at this point, the only way for us to survive is to unravel the truth. Other words, one decisive final battle, a rather interesting development, I'd say. But figuring out who the mastermind is and how they killed Makaro, and all the school's mysteries. Pretty tall friggin' order. Maybe by this time the trial is different. We know who our enemy is now. If we work together and search as hard as we can, I'm sure we'll solve all those mysteries. I'm not sure about that. Huh? I can't agree with the idea of working together with everyone. Can't agree, why not? And working together with everyone seems like the most obvious way to solve all the mysteries.
Indeed.
That's what I thought too, at first. The Monokuma gave us a little hint of his. Hint? Very polarizing approach, I know, but okay, but no puns. Anyway, here's a hint. Sure, I told you this already, but this killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. Only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. One of them has been leaving and entering. Monokuma said that, did he? Kyoko's opinion is perfectly reasonable. But why?
So in other
Mastermind really is Monokuma Makaro, as Kyoko says. Mastermind would have had to set foot in the school, right? Monokuma could probably be the probably murdered Makaro, but there's no way he could have disguised a scene like that.
in other words,
According to Monokuma, the only people who have set foot in Hope's Peak are the 16 students who have been taking part in the. I don't know why that jumped to me that they would just be leaving and entering. It makes no sense. The mastermind is 15 of us in the main hall at the very beginning. Add in Makaro and you get 16. Mastermind would have to be one of them.
that's right.
And the 16 people we started out with, the only one still alive. People standing right here. Do I continue? Did I continue or do you get it now? Is it Junko? Bunko? And the mastermind's one of us.
No way!
Can't be serious. Wait, we can't say that for sure. We can't say that's true. We can't say for sure that's true just yet. Monokuma might have just said all those to confuse us. All that to confuse us.
Indeed.
Certainly a possibility, but the only one among many. Mastermind being one of us is also a possibility. There's one possibility we can't ignore. Yeah, I mean, there's an ultimate, right? The ultimate despair, so they must be a high schooler. You can't say it's not possible. But if one of us was a mastermind, they'd have to be controlling Monokuma somehow, right? Did you ever see anyone acting suspicious anytime Monokuma was active? Maybe they snuck off and controlled him in secret? I don't care how sneaky you are, we would have noticed someone sneaking off that many times. Maybe Monokuma was on autopilot, maybe they loaded up all the dialogue and actions beforehand. In that case, there's no way he could have had all those back and forth conversations with us. Well, it wouldn't have been entirely impossible if they directed the flow of the conversation. Well, maybe, but still. It's nighttime, everyone.
This is a school announcement. You've all probably figured this out by now, but at this point, the killing game has now entered true ending mode. So, in the name of fairness, I will unlock every room in the school. Look wherever you want. Solve the mystery in whatever way you see fit. Then we can all meet up at the class trial, okay?
Hmm?
And very magnanimous of him to unlock all the rooms.
That's fine.
This time for talk is done, now we need to begin our investigation. But I was planning on working alone from the beginning anyway.
In the name of
At this
my
point, I
family.
can rely on only myself and the Togami blood flowing through my veins. No time to worry about the rest of you. Each of you must uphold your responsibility. Or you've been wrong twice.
Goodbye.
Hold on. We can read that. I'm thirsty. He didn't take me with him.
Hey,
You blame him? That master, the rest of you were like coffee with cream without the cream, or coffee. You're totally useless. So am I. I mean, this is a perfect spot to save, so we'll finish this dialogue here. Poker trudges out of the dining hall. Now she's gone. Gonna go off by herself, right, Kyoko?
Indeed.
That's right. Which is leaves Makoto, Hina, and me.
you know?
I'm gonna go by myself too.
Just a second.
Wait, how come?
How about that?
Wait and see him when I use my totally awesome spirit power to figure out this mastermind's identity. I mean, he hasn't done anything this entire game. Maybe this Ivan does it. Maybe. Laughing loudly, Hero left the dining hall. Everyone's really going off by themselves. What about you, Hina? I'll do the same thing.
But,
I mean, it's not that I don't trust everyone, you know?
'cause I
But up
mean,
until now, I haven't really been all that useful. I just depended on Sakura and everyone else. You're not useless. If you hadn't been here, I would have died. Makoto. It's really nice of you to say. When? But still, I know I've mostly been totally useless.
okay.
I figure at least here at my end, or at the end, maybe I can find something that'll help us all get out of here. I'll go off and do it all on my own now. See you later. You know, with surprisingly high spirits after she dashed out of the dining hall. And once again, just us two.
Indeed.
Indeed. So you're gonna go off on your own too, right, Kyoko?
However,
Well, don't misunderstand. Because we're going to do our searches separately doesn't mean we can't still work together.
so
It goes for all of us. I see what you mean. Doing our own investigating doesn't mean we can't work together in the end. You see it as us splitting up and cover more ground. And then we get back together and share what we found. Yeah, that's right.
so then,
Well, I better get going. I have an endless list of things I need to check.
correct.
Okay, let's hit all the doors in the school have been unlocked, right? Should be able to investigate every nook and cranny in the school. We can visit all the places we couldn't go before.
Makoto.
Makoto, no matter what it takes, we have to uncover the truth. By any means necessary. And that Kyoko is gone. Leaving only me. I don't have time to waste either. I'd begin my search. Still can't believe the mastermind might be one of us. That's what I had to prove. I'll prove that the mastermind isn't one of us. But the mastermind's true identity and solve the mystery of the school. And then we can all get together. Let's start by taking another look at Makuma's file. Due to the explosion, the victim's identity is unknown. They were, however, dead before the blast. The victim had been stabbed a single time with a knife, completely through the body. Also been struck in the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe. Body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old. Once they find out who killed Makuro Ukusaba, we'll know who the mastermind is. I should start my investigation to figure out who killed her. Start with the rooms that were locked up until now. Headmaster's room, the bio-lab, and the door at the center of the Monokuma face. With the Monokuma's faces on it. Second floor of the dorms where the gate was down before, that should be open now, right? After that, I'll have to double check the areas that are connected to the murder. Garden and the dojo. I'll save this for like next week. Whenever I get around to playing it. What's today? Wednesday? Maybe it's Friday or Saturday. We'll see what happens. I mean, you can see right there, it's the 9th. Alright. I'll leave the game open. I'm leaving. I'm back in just a minute with Elden Ring.